Hey guys, Gary J here, and just a little update on the Stinger Extreme by PSE. What a great bow this is. And I'm not used to shooting this style of bow. I'm used to old school stuff. And so I've been shooting a little bit here and getting a little bit better with it. And just want to mention a few things that I've learned on the Stinger here. Number one, it's got a real short valley. Once you pull that thing back and hits the back wall, you got feel like you got a half inch. If you go forward a little bit, it wants to take off with you. So trying to get used to that. But the bow is so accurate if you can hold it there. I adjusted my poundage on it to 60 pounds. I adjusted this cam wheel. Now remember, on the Stinger bows like this, it's got a round idler pulley there. It doesn't create any energy for you. All the energy for the bow is right here in the cam system. And it comes with a little booklet with it that shows you your poundage and your draw length and your back wall. And the thing here is these letters right here. This is your back wall. If you have a 28-inch draw, there's a star type, not an Allen wrench screw type, but a star type screw right here with a nut on it. You just take this out and look at the little book, and it'll tell you where 28 inches is. Say like if 28 inches is E, is 28-inch draw, 28-inch back wall that is. Then you take this out and put the screw in here on that nut on E, okay? That will be your back wall. The bow will stop like a brick wall. It won't go any farther back, which is really good and helping you to be consistent with your horizontal up and down shots. Secondly, if your draw length is 28 inches, then if you got the back wall at E, the booklet will tell you 28 inches, back wall E, and it'll tell you draw length will be E on the little module here that's on the cam. These letters right here correspond to these right here, and this right here will turn where you see these screws these button screws. These are star type screws, not Allen. So you got one here and one here. You don't take these out, you just loosen them up, okay? So when you loosen those up, you can turn this module here and line it up with E. If this is set on E, this has to be set on E. They have to correspond the same. And this module here, it's got a stud that sticks up that goes into the hole right here. Maybe you can see the holes right here. Yeah, maybe you can see the holes right there. But that stud has to go in that hole, okay? And then you just tighten it down. Do not put a deft grip on this because this is not really strong steel. So tighten it. Those two screws, once you put it on E, and you got this one on E, then you have a 28-inch draw. This is your back wall draw again at E, and this is your draw length at E at 28 inches. Okay, now I'm just saying E. It may be F, I'm not sure. But the booklet will tell you, okay? And then, whatever release, if you have a wrist release or a hand release or whatever release you have, pull it back. You may find, well, I need another half inch or I need a half inch less, and then you can adjust it there. You can go from 21.5 inch draw to 30-inch draw with this, and some say even 31 inch. And this has got the performance and the go as you grow system in this cam. And just to give you an idea how that works, and you're not going to be able to read it, I'm sure, but this cable right here comes here and comes around here, okay? That cable, there's some writing down here. It says performance. The outside one is performance. That's where you want it if you're an adult, pretty much. So if you're 13 years old and you're growing and you want to cut your poundage all the way down, and your draw length is going to be short, say 22, 23 inches, you want to put this cable right here. I've seen some people just torque the cable and pick it up, and it'll slide into a slot right here. Okay, and that slot is right where my fingertip is. There's a slot right there, the arrow right there. It'll say go as you grow. So this cable will just be picked up and put in there. You don't want to torque it too bad. You might want to put it in a press to do that, but some people won't put it in a press. That's the other thing about this. You don't have to put the bow in the press to adjust your draw length and your backstop. You don't have to put it in the press. You don't have to do it on this either. I've seen some people do it, but you know, it's up to you. So that's all it's going. This cable is only going from here to here. There's a little arrow right here and a little arrow right here. So the cable is either going to be in this one or that one. Go as you grow is this one, and performance is this one. Okay, and this is goes from 40 to 70 pounds. So you got a wide range right there. If you put it in go as you grow, it should go down like 35 pounds. Okay. And I put a new sight on it. A cheap sight, like $30 Joker sight, which is a whole lot better than the RTS sight that came with it. I couldn't see the pins on it very well, but this is really, for the money, I don't think they make a better sight than the Go Joker 4 sight for the money. These lumens here, these pins just pop. They're not even on. They just seem like they're, you know, the battery's on or something. But that works great. I like this universal arrow rest here. This is brushes right here. I like this design. The cock feather goes up here and your feathers go in between. They don't hit this brush, not supposed to. It doesn't appear, so I like that better than a whisker biscuit. And with the RTS ready to shoot package, it come with their D-loop and your peep sight, and it came with a sight and the arrow rest and the stabilizer and a quiver, and so everything you really need. The other thing too, the only problem I've had was I was pulling it back the other day and I heard this clicking sound that clicked, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Most time it's going to be a cam. These screws can come loose here. They say if you shoot the bow like 50 or 100 times, then you want to check the screws in the cam right here. The backdrop, the backstop screw, and the little module screw here for your draw length. Just check those. Just make sure they're tightened, and all your other screws every 50 or 100 shots. So I checked that, and that wasn't the problem. The problem was this right here, and I can tell you, they could have done this a lot better. This bar right here with a slider for your cables, this bar turned, and I put a mark across this bar right here, across here, so I can tell when it turns. Well, you'll hear it when it turns, but I tightened this up pretty good, and really they need to cut a groove in this bar to me, so that this screw will hold it and it won't ever do that again. But what happened is this bar's got a bend to it, right, and it pulls the cables away from your string. All right, well, in this case, what it was doing was on your string dampener right here, this rod right here, it's got a brace right here, okay, that holds this on. And what was happening was that my string, when I pulled back about 4 or 5 inches, was hitting this right here on the cable. The cable was hitting this right here, I should say. So, and the reason for that is that this bar had turned and was pretty much flat. And so the cables had to hit this right here when you pull back, and that caused the cables to fray if you're not careful. So that was what was happening with that. And it made my bow shoot, when it started happening, I noticed my bow started shooting like 8 inches to the right and 8 inches low, and I'm thinking like, this is like at 20 yards. I'm thinking like, what is going on? You know, is the rest out of whack or something, you know? But anyway, I corrected that, and the bow shot fine after that. So that's the other thing that I saw that might be a problem. The other thing too, when I'm thinking about it, These rubber pieces right here are really soft, and on my bottom limb, they kept falling out on my bottom limb on the cam limb side, and I kept putting them in, and after a while they finally settled to where they didn't fall out. So then I took a marker and I marked them right here where they can't fall out. I mean, where they're not falling out. That way, if they ever do come out, if they slide down, then I'll know and I can put them back in. Okay, so that's some of the things I've learned with this bow. And again, when you pull it all the way back, you seem like you only got an inch. If you go forward, if you got that much, it wants to take off with you. So you got to be consistent and holding it back on against the back wall, but not too tight. Love the bow, and this was a shot pattern here from 10 to 70 yards right here. And this was my arrows are numbered, so I know 10 yard, 20 yard, 40 yard in the bullseye. 50 yard is right here, about a quarter inch out of the bullseye. 60 yard I had no sight, and that's about 3 inches out of the bullseye. And this is 70 yard, and that's no sight on that one either. And that's I think it was about 1, 2, 3, about 3 inches out of the bullseye. And this is 30 yard. I shot arrow number 12 to make up for this shot went wild, and that's about a ½ inch from the bullseye. So anyway, it's shooting really good, even out to 70 yards. And then again, with no sight for 60 and 70, I'm still estimating pretty good, and it's shooting, tracking pretty well toward the center. Oh, it's starting to rain, guys. Thanks for watching. Gary J.